It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics plus. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Check our night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy is. But it say live and level, live and level. We on that MIC. Live and level, live and level. We just talking them games. Live and level, live and level. Take a seat and listen up, man. Live and level, live and level. What's up, people? This is your boy Levelhead back with another Live and Level Gamers podcast. This is episode 182. We got the crew in the building, minus one. Jedi Knight, we're going to get them on at some point. But go ahead and turn your mics on, folks. We are in here. We are here today. What's up? It's about to get live. Yeah, we here. What's up, folks? Welcome to the Live and Level Gamers podcast, where we come to talk about games, movies, anything that we want to talk about. So, what's good, folks?
Not much, man.
If you're in the live chat, if you're listening currently, let us know. Sign off in the comment section. I will give you a shout out as we discuss what we're going to be discussing. Keith, man, you missed it last week, man. You jumped out right when we got into a very good portion of talking about the MCU. I kind of wanted to come back to it, but we got other stuff to talk about, man. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that discussion from last week?
I didn't get a chance to go back and listen to it. I was hustling and bustling that day.
Yeah, we went a lot of man. With the multiverse and all that. Did we know about the multiverse on that one or not?
Yeah, we did.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the show, folks. We got a lot prepared for you. First of all, we're gonna be talking about this Microsoft and Sony teaming up. We calling it Voltron, but I think D2K got a better what would you say that D2K? A better comparison, a better teaming up than Voltron, because until Nintendo jump on board with this, I don't know if we can really call it Voltron. Somebody got to form the leg, somebody got to form the head. Microsoft already is forming the head, so we need some arms, but D2K came up with a better way. I wish I would have got that before I made the title. But we arms, you form the feet and legs, I'll form the arms and the head. You know that part. But anyway,
got the game for that. Now, I said Nintendo already got the game for that.
What's that?
Orange.
You know. So, wait a minute. I got an intruder. Go upstairs. Go on upstairs, boo-boo. All right. So, but so let's get into it before we get into what you've been gaming on. Anything y'all been on? Anything special? Any movies y'all seen? Anything?
I don't think I've seen anything at the end game.
Go ahead. What's that, D2?
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, this dude. Hold up. Go ahead and take over, K-Bum. I gotta Keith, I gotta go get my baby upstairs. She just totally bombarded my set. Go ahead.
Oh man, K-Bum normally the person who takes over afterwards, but
hey, bro. I got a mouthful of pizza right now. It's gonna be one of those podcasts. So I'm gonna need for you to hold it down real quick while I chew on this onion and hamburger / pepperoni and bacon pizza.
What?
A lot, bro.
Gotta go half and half, man. Gotta go half and half.
You got the antacids too, right?
That is a lot.
I'm a good player.
We got some omeprazole or something on the side.
Got that thing for us.
I don't mean nothing. Shoot. Hamburgers, onions, and pepperonis, and
it's half and half, man. Half
I went
hamburger,
out,
onion, half pepperoni, bacon.
Oh, this half piece of what from where?
The best pizza place ever.
What? Beckley
Oh,
High?
that place. Yeah, I know exactly where it is. Well, where?
Got that emos, man.
Oh,
Y'all don't know about the
I
emos.
ain't gonna say the best, but that's pretty good.
Y'all don't know about the emos, man.
I
You gotta be from the Midwest. From my city.
That's good. I got a chance to go out and see that Pokemon. Detective Pikachu. Man, I haven't failed. Yeah, Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I took my daughter to see that yesterday, and we was talking about it on the in the hangout. Me, Keith, and I'm gonna be honest, man. It was far as visuals, it's great. It's a great looking movie. I mean, nothing. I mean, they transitioned from the animated fantasy world of Pokemon to the big screen to a realistic adaptation of it. That all that was good. Charizard looked amazing. Mewtwo, is that his name? Is it Mewtwo?
Mm-hmm.
He looked amazing. Pikachu looked amazing. All the Pokemon looked amazing. And I like old dude playing Pokemon. The dude that voiced Pokemon. What's his name?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds did a great job of voicing Pokemon or Pikachu. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. It was boring. It was boring.
Boring?
Yes, it was boring. It was cheesy. It was. I mean, it started off the beginning scene. The setup was so corny. Like I was like, bro, I know this is a play on the Pokemon world, and the character that was there with the main character was a play on a Pokemon trainer. I got it, but as a grown man who doesn't play Pokemon, I felt kind of embarrassed to be sitting in that seat. Only thing that gave me any sense of you okay, you get a pass is because I was with my daughter. But if I was a grown man just supporting, the Pokemon game and Nintendo and those who own the Pokemon IP, that moment made me feel like I needed to sink deep into my seat. Like I should have waited till this came out on just that first scene. But as the movie went on, and I definitely laughed at parts. Without giving it away, I definitely laughed at parts. Ryan Reynolds, is that his name? Ryan Reynolds. Okay, he was the only saving grace. Him and Mewtwo designing, and some aspects of that I did not like the lead actor that was with Ryan Reynolds. I didn't like how he acted. I didn't like his mood. I didn't like his demeanor. I didn't like his storyline. I didn't like none of that. To me, he didn't capture me as an actor. He didn't make me believe in his emotional trauma and what he was experiencing and what his character wanted you to feel and relate with. I couldn't get with him. He just felt like a moody dude for no reason. I think the storyline was all over the place. Far as it wasn't necessarily all over. It was almost like Nintendo games. The storyline was minimal. It really wasn't really a storyline. It was that simple. It was too simple, but Ryan Reynolds made it work because of his little side lines and his jokes and his stuff that was clearly for adult audiences that a kid would not catch. Some sexual stuff, some stuff that was kind of snuck in there in a kid's movie that was a little inappropriate, but the way he put it out, you can get away with it, and that's what was so funny because he said one thing, and he was basically alluding to getting,
special attention.
Yeah, he getting touched, fondled or something. But the way he put it, it was inappropriate, but it went over a kid's head, so you can get away with it. And as an adult, you caught it. It's like, oh my God, that he made you laugh. But it wasn't for me, and I think that to really enjoy the movie fully, and I was telling Keith this, and I'd love to get input, you would have to be a Pokemon universe world fan. Like you would have to know that world to really get full enjoyment out of this movie. It's either going to be a hit or miss for you if you're not a fan of this universe already. And
for me, not being a fan of Pokemon, not playing none of the games, not getting into none of these characters outside of a few of them because they was in Smash Bros. I know about Pikachu. I know about Charizard. I know about the one that makes you go to sleep, Jigglypuff. I know about them, but beyond that, it was like I don't know what I'm enjoying. I don't know who that is. I don't know his relevance or its relevance. I did like the scene where Jigglypuff was singing on the mic and everybody was falling asleep. That was funny, but outside of it, it wasn't for me. I won't say it was trash or bad. It just wasn't for me. So, but I don't know if any of y'all saw the movie or not.
I have not seen the movie. And just a little brief history. I like the show. I'm like you. I never played the game. I grew up in the era where the kids were playing the little card games on the playground. Never got into any of that.
Okay.
But I did like the show. The show was pretty cool. The day I found out that I really didn't like Pokemon was the day I was like, "What Pokemon is that?" Because I just remember it was like 101 Pokemon. They only got I don't know how many. I was like, I can't keep up with this. So
I think had they went with, and I know the Pet Detective. I mean, I keep saying Pet Detective, but Detective Pikachu, that game. I think they thought because of the ideal of a talking Pokemon who is a detective might translate to the big screen better, and it did. I ain't gonna say it didn't work. It just didn't work for me. I think had they went with a more action-based, like a Pokemon trainer fighting against other Pokemon trainers, like the actual Pokemon universe, I think that would have been more enjoyable. The actual animation going to the big screen rather than Detective Pikachu. It to me, it just didn't. I just wasn't feeling it. It wasn't bad. It just maybe they needed another co-actor with Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. Maybe that would have worked, but for me, it was a pass. It ain't nowhere near trash. My daughter liked it; she enjoyed it, and I think that's all that matters is the kids is liking it, and you introducing these characters to another generation of kids. But for me, as a 39, about to be 40-year-old man, this could have been bought at the store and watched at home. Definitely could have been a Fire Stick experience. But I ain't gonna trash it. I think it did what it came to do. Is from what I understand, is doing well at the theater. Is doing decent. I mean, but that's my honest take. I ain't saying it was bad. It's just I don't know anything about this universe. I do know about Pokemon battles, and that really didn't take place in this movie. It was about a mystery trying to solve what happened to the co-star's father and trying to break the case. And it was hit and miss. I mean, these actors just wasn't good. Reynolds was the only thing that made it good. The actors themselves was trash. Like the young lady that played the interest of the young man, and the reporter, she was trash. Her acting was so overboard that I'm shocked that they even let her act that way. It was like she knew she was acting. It was weird, man. So, but it works for kids. D2, you want to add anything to that?
Nope.
I would say this, based on the Sonic commercial, outside of Sonic's design, I think I'm gonna like Sonic better.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's crazy, but I think Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik, and I think the action that seems to be associated with that movie is going to be an action, fast-paced, adrenaline rush. I think that's going to be funner than this slow. And they really did not do good character development. That was the problem. This movie was too slow to not have good characters. These characters wasn't interested outside of Pikachu and the Pokemon, but the Pokemon, it was only one Pokemon two that you could fully look into, and Mewtwo they really didn't do much with. He was mysterious. The Mewtwo Pokemon was mysterious, but outside of that, you really just had Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu and talking and cutting little jokes and stuff that was going over kids' heads. That part made it good, and the mystery was good with him. But if you move him out, this movie would have been a total waste. Ryan Reynolds made it. He saved it. He made it tolerable. But it wasn't a fun experience. I didn't have fun. I was fighting sleep. I was like, man, I'm not enjoying this. This ain't really fun. It's kind of slow. It's kind of too. And that's ain't enough action. Like, it ain't enough fun for me. This should be fun. It had a few parts. It had its moments, but definitely like a low C rate for me. I'll get a C minus. It'd be barely passable. That's what I would give it. So that's my take. But that's level heads on his opinion. So anything else before we move on to what we've been gaming on?
I did actually finally get a chance to watch Bumblebee on Blu-ray. And it was pretty good.
There you go.
It was pretty good. It wasn't great. It did what it needed to do. If they're going to use that movie as a soft reboot for the franchise, I think it was done perfectly for that. I think it had enough fan service for those of us who are old enough to grew up with the original, and it made the Bayformers make sense, if I could say that, in terms of the transition of what we remember the Transformers into what they became. So it's not such a divide from, boy, this is such a departure from what they're supposed to be. Well, you see how they bridge the gap between those things and how it becomes plausible and tolerable that they look the way they look in the Bayformer movies. So I think they did a good job with it. It was to me, it was one of those movies where I don't necessarily need to see it again. It was kind of like one of those Sunday afternoon family sit around and watch a movie type movies.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, just watch Bumblebee. Okay, it's one of those kind of movies. It wasn't something like, oh, that was the greatest movie I ever saw. Even the fan service moments, and maybe that's one of the reasons why it was just okay, is because what we wanted to see there wasn't enough of that. But at this point, I'll take what I can get. After 6 movies of foul, I'll take that little bit that they gave us in Bumblebee.
Okay. Can I add this to Detective Pikachu? While the CGI and the Pokemon designs were great, there was moments in the movie where the CGI was trash. One particular portion of the movie, and you kind of saw this in the trailers, where it looked like the world was kind of turning upside down and breaking up and cracking and stuff. That was horrible. That looked horrible. But anyway, let me leave that movie alone. K-Bum, you got anything you want to say, man? Just some random stuff before we get into what you've been gaming on in these topics?
Man, this piece is good.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. Yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for What Have You Been Gaming On? Sing it, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Gaming on, gaming on, gaming on. All right, so
I shouldn't bring this up, but we actually lost a couple of followers that we were watching the show when you played that song. Just just to let you know.
Nah, that's all right. Anyway, hey, this is our show. That's why it's called the Live and Level. We do what we want. But go ahead, D2. What you been gaming on, bro?
Not really anything. I mean, other than just playing little knickknacks here and there because I've been too busy. I haven't I have to prepare for or not a conference, but a convention that I'm doing at the end of June. So I really don't have time between work and preparing for that to really play much. So
Okay.
nothing but the normal stuff that I play.
Mr. Norris, what you been gaming on, bro?
What you been gaming on? I've been gaming on. I started playing some little Starlink. I finally started playing some of the Star Fox missions. Okay, I played the first mission, and that's all I've been playing on. And I changed my ship. It's one that has like a skull on it or something like that I bought. Like it has a little bit more like a tank feel, like the shielding on it or whatever. But I'm still like, I think I'm using the Star Fox wings though, because I think they give you like an extra gun or something like that. But other than that, is that true? Yeah, that's all I've been gaming on.
Okay. Muted one. K-Bomb, what you been gaming on, bro?
My bad. I'm trying to get back to unmute and get this crust out my teeth. What I've been gaming on. So I've been playing during the podcast and before the podcast, I was playing that MLB The Show, which is only for the Sony PlayStation, which is a great baseball game. Like a little plug.
You got trash. Oh. No, my bad.
No, it's all good. And I've been playing the Sony PlayStation. I've been playing MLB The Show. It's a good game. It's a great simulation of baseball. If you have a PlayStation, I say at least, and you like baseball, you do yourself a disservice by not at least renting it or testing it out and playing it. I've also been playing still 2K, playing with my my buddies. We got a good game of 5-on-5 today, all 5 humans versus 5 humans, and beat the team by like 40, 50 points. So that was fun. And I played Overwatch for a quick minute. And then, so Level left a comment in the in our group chat about Apex Legends being dead. I'm like, oh, Apex Legends.
I didn't say it dead. Now,
You said dead. Whatever, close to being dead.
I said it was dead. I said I heard that folks are saying that it's dying or cooled off or slowly dying.
Well, I said, you know what? I'm about to play this Apex Legends and prove Levelhead wrong that it's not dying. And I started the game up and thought about it and started playing something else. So I don't think that helps my case, but whatever, it's cool.
I read an article on it. I mean, and watched the video. I watched a video talking about how Apex Legends hype has cooled off and is slowly becoming yesterday's news. And I was like, wow, it was hot like a month ago. Like
hot like fire.
Yeah. So it's
not a bad game. It's just not the.
Is Fortnite still going as strong?
Oh yeah, Fortnite. I think I looked on Twitch. It was the number one, had the most viewers.
Okay.
Was Fortnite had like 100,000 viewers on Twitch.
Do you think it was the first person view that?
Nah. Okay. What the viewership of I don't know what's that music in the background. The viewership of Apex was hyped due to the content creators and YouTubers being paid to hype it. Okay. So it was inflated. It was ballooned. It wasn't really the hype in the game. It was just ballooned by the content creators playing it. And when people play it, they're like, yeah, it's a good game, but I can play other stuff too. I mean, again, it's free to play, so it's not like it's killing anything. It's still a good game. It's still fun. What was that?
Somebody has some music in the background.
Yeah, I don't know what that music in the background is. I was gonna keep on rolling. But yeah, it's still a good game. But people still love their Fortnite, so you're not gonna you can't dethrone them that easy.
That's cool. I got it.
Yeah, and that's it.
All right. Keith, you already rent, right?
Yup.
Okay, well, I've been playing. Last week I talked about I was in a valley of decision about buying either Hollow Knight or Guacamelee, and after doing some soul searching and getting some advice from my peers, I felt led to follow Keith's advice and get Guacamelee. And I'm gonna be honest, bro. This game is dope. This game is dope. This is an intelligent, clever, witty, smart game. The stage design, it's simple. It's simple. It's simple. I mean, even the animation is simple, but it's simple yet very detailed. The platforming is some of the most challenging, yet once you figure it out, it's like, oh, you literally, like, what they make you do and what they are trying to get you to do is different. I don't know how you felt about it, Keith, but it's different. Like, there's platforming and juggles that you have to do. It's different than Mario. Mario is based on the timing of the jump alone, like, pressing your jumps in the right timing. Whereas Guacamelee, it ain't just about jumping. It's also about using your power-ups. Like, you got a power-up, a super punch, you got a super uppercut, you got a dash punch, you got I would call it, I guess, a frog splash, you got a headbutt, you have a wall climb. I forgot what they call that. But sometimes you got this major gap that you got to get through, and you got to use not only your double jump, but you have to use that uppercut and that dash all in a smart sequence to make that jump. And it's real tricky. And it's been some spots where I was stuck for a while trying to get my hands to do to get my timing and my twitch down to do the move that's needed to be done. But once you do it, it's like, wow, I did that. Whereas
Go ahead. Since you're on the hand part, spoiler if you haven't got this far, there's also dimensional things where you have to go back and forth.
I'm there. Yes, and that's you're right. I'm glad you mentioned that. And another clever thing about the stage design is you can manipulate the limit. Okay, if you ever seen what's that, the animation from Disney?
Coco.
If you ever seen Coco, you know about the culture of the dead, and the ancestral culture of Mexicans, and I don't want to be offensive, but I'm trying to say this right. But anyway,
come on, Trump, tell us how it is, Trump.
I ain't Trump. But Guacamelee plays on that cultural aesthetic where the living and the dead and your ancestors, and so what Keith is talking about is you can manipulate the living world and flip it to the dead world at the push of a button. And sometimes this plays into the platforming, whereas the wall that you need to jump in on is in the dead world, and you would have to flip it to jump off that wall, to flip it back to jump off the far other wall in the living world. It's dope, man. It's a dope game.
All jumping, super punching.
Yes. All while doing all this, it literally challenges your gaming skills, and in a way that Mario does not. Like, Mario don't come close to challenging you like this game does. So I'm highly pleased by it. I'm mad at myself that it took me this long to jump on the board with it. I plan on picking up Guacamelee 2. I'm still gonna get Hollow Knight at some point. But Keith, I appreciate you for giving me that push A level. Get this one, and I'm happy with it. And I also played, and I showed K-Bum, Keith this, and D2K. I got my girls, you know what I'm saying? I'm training them up in the way that they should game. That when they get older, they will not depart. And so I put them Nintendo Joy-Cons in their hands, and they was Mario Karting it up, and I caught it on camera so my boys can see. Look at these future Nintendo heads already getting their gaming on, and of course Satan spoke.
What?
Satan spoke up, man, talking about bring them over, you know what I'm saying, to Sony. And I said, we shall not live by Sony alone, but we shall put our inputs by every Nintendo controller that anyway, let me stop. But
please stop.
Yeah, let me stop. But yeah, man, I played some Mario Kart with my twin girls. They 3 years old, and they was having themselves a good time. They couldn't drive worth nothing, but we put it on.
No, they could not.
They couldn't drive worth nothing, D2K. But I put it on continuous where the car go on its own, so it didn't matter. They was finishing anyway. So, but that's about it for me on the gaming front. Anything else y'all want to add?
Yes. So while y'all been talking about what y'all been gaming, I know we got to get to these topics. If you could do yourself a favor, go to bestbuy.com right now. Do yourself a favor, go to bestbuy.com right now and look up the Xbox all digital edition and look at these reviews and look how much damage control Microsoft is trying.
What happened?
I was even
flames.
Man,
flaming it.
Have you seen the cable?
Yeah, man, they flaming that bad boy.
Good.
Wow, I ain't seen this. You had to send a link or something in the hangout.
Just
man.
go to your lazy man. Go to Best Buy, like you said.
Well, I mean, he's you know what, man? You lucky I ain't got my he said those listening. I'm here with he can send it to us. He can't send it to them. I'm saying send it to me, so I ain't got it, but I look it up. But anyway, let's get to these topics, man. Let's get to these topics. And if you thank you, Keith. I appreciate you sending that. See, K-Bum, now you ain't even got to look it up. But let's get to these topics. And like I said, if you're in the live chat, go ahead and sign off and we give you a shout out live on the air. But let's get to these topics. So, Cars, our main topic is Sony and Microsoft. Do y'all want to go there first so we can get that and spend as much time as we want to on that and move to the other stuff?
Yeah, we should do that.
Let's do that. So, Sony and Microsoft are doing what your boy said that Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony need to do. They are coming together to form what I originally said was Voltron. But D2K, what did you say?
Well, if this is true, but what we're saying, I think that this is kind of on the level of Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta.
Right. So they coming together to ward off or to fend off Google Stadia. And I think this is a smart thing to do for cloud gaming. K-Bum kind of shared this post with us, so I'm going to let K-Bum kind of take the lead and lead us into this discussion. So K-Bum, go ahead and take it over, bro.
Yeah, no problem. So I was quite surprised when I actually saw it.
Twitter is killing. Go ahead, man.
So I was quite surprised when I saw it, man. So it was the article that I think just today is so it's very it was today, wasn't it? Yesterday, something like that. Very recent. And so they just made this a big announcement that Microsoft and Sony are holding hands together, skipping down the street, trying to unite together to defeat this force, which is Google and Stadia. And so to see anything in this console world that you have two of these major parties coming together, making a decision and trying to join together, and Microsoft lending their streaming services over to Sony so that they could use them as well. It's humongous news, you know what I'm saying, to see that these teams come together. And to me, it's even bigger than hearing Nintendo being able to utilize Xbox Live, because what they're talking about is that they're talking about venturing into this world of streaming together as a unit. And so, which is, as being stated by Google, is the next iteration, the next version of gaming. That's where gaming is going to. This idea of streaming, and the fact now that they're doing this together, man, it sounds just crazy.
All right, man. So somebody get that man some water.
I told you about all that, the onions and hamburger and
man, this dude
liverwurst and whatever else you had.
He sound like somebody trying to snatch his tonsils away from him.
I'm good better than I didn't.
Go ahead, man.
I ain't have nothing to drink. That's all that was.
That thick cheese you've been eating over there.
Man. All right, I'm here. So, so the fact that they're coming together is just a big statement. But what I kind of wanted to get from the group is kind of like, first off, your initial reaction on hearing this news. Secondly, how do you think this is going to impact
Stadium
impact these two companies going forward? And I have a third question after that, but this is the first two: is your initial reaction, and where do you see this partnership going? And who wants to go first? Who's that?
Me. I want to go first. I don't never.
Oh man, nobody let you go first, but go ahead, man.
Oh, okay. So when you said it, and I kind of posted in the chat, this is kind of what I said and felt like they needed to do in order to really make this work. I felt like Microsoft was the only one in position to do some of this magnitude. To me, this is only echoing the truth of that statement, because Sony is teaming up with Microsoft and coming up pretty much up under their umbrella of service to basically take advantage of what Microsoft already has developed. And to me, this is smart. I was shocked, but not blown away, because it makes sense. If you want to keep the status quo, if you want to keep things somewhat currently under the same current structure, whereas it's the big two and the small third being Nintendo, or the big three, if you want to just call it like that, you would need these three companies to, in some form or fashion, create a what is it? Goten, or what is the name? Gogeta or Vegito, or in hope thinking Nintendo going to eventually jump on board with this, create Voltron. And
you need two other pieces to do that.
No, you just need these three. You just need these three. But we need Nintendo or Sony to form the feet and legs. We need somebody to form the arm, but Microsoft is definitely the head. And to me, it's smart, it's intelligent, it's wise of these three to unify at this moment to keep control of the game in space. Because if you let Google come in and let them gain any grounds, this could disrupt all three of them, in the long run. Because we need Sony, because Sony is the biggest player. We need Nintendo, because they are, to me, they are the heartbeat. And you need Microsoft. Because Sony is the machine that keeps it going. They got the biggest piece of the pie. I think Nintendo is that, that group that kind of, builds up on the ideal of what gaming could be. And I think Microsoft has the tools and the network and all that to make all this possible coming together. So I think it's smart. So that's my initial take.
Okay, go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, man, my initial take, like Joe had said, Microsoft is the head of this. I think that was the very first thing I said to y'all. I was like, this is Microsoft. This is what they've been doing. And I'm not going to say it's because they've been in like third place or they just can't seem to topple the giant that is Sony. I think as overall for the gaming, they're going to have to eventually start working together, because there's a bigger threat. And it ain't even Google. I just think it's the biggest threat is just the loss of interest of gaming. So I think they have to do to keep shaking it up. They got to keep doing things to be innovative, and they don't necessarily have the games. Sony has the games, and like I was saying, if Nintendo gets in there, it's going to be the three-headed monster. You know what I mean? So like I said, my initial take was this is cool. This is good for gaming, and definitely Microsoft is working mad crazy behind the scenes to further gaming as we know it.
Let me see this shout out. Is this to Raheem 860? He says before D2K takes over, he says it's a good thing, but people are making this info bigger than what it is. They are partnering up for cloud streaming stuff. Has nothing to do with sharing games, etc. I don't know. We haven't said that that's what it is here, but if people are saying that, okay. But to me, it is a big deal, whether they share games or not. The fact that Sony has chose to take advantage of something that is developed by Microsoft, for a platform of the future, cloud gaming, that is huge within itself, whether they share games and stuff at all. This is still huge and worthy of, like, wow, this is a big thing for gaming. It's still a huge thing. But we haven't said anything about sharing anything. Go ahead.
Yeah, they don't need to share games for this to be a huge moment. I mean, that's not the be all. Are they sharing games? That's not the be all of the decision. It's the fact that they are making a joint effort to have a single point for streaming services, for streaming games. That's a huge announcement, because if they are partnering up to work in this aspect. I guess that's part of my second question is, well, what else will that lead down? I mean, it's a step in the direction that could unite all three consoles, and that's the point we're trying to get at. It's not just saying this one single statement is amazing, is the biggest thing ever, but it's the step and where this can take us. That's what we need to make sure to focus on as well.
And DJ said it's just speculation and conjecture. We matter of fact, I don't think any of us said anything about Sony games showing up on Microsoft platforms. We're talking about the fact that Sony is offering their tech, their service for cloud gaming, to let Sony put their games and utilize it still on their platform, but it's still a Sony, it's still a Microsoft cloud service. That's huge. And if Nintendo does it, that's the central these are the major players that are leading the gaming industry right now, all under one of their fellow companies umbrella. That's huge.
Competition, the competition's umbrella. Let's make sure we understand that. These are competitors deciding to work together.
And it makes sense. It shows like they see this as a threat to what they currently run. They see Google as a threat to what is currently established to come together.
The status quo, absolutely.
Yeah, so the status quo. That's what I meant. Go ahead, D2. Yeah, because I kind of jumped in there. Or Keith, whoever want to go.
Well, I always like to put everything in perspective and go back to the beginning. And if you go back to the beginning of when Microsoft first decided to get into the gaming industry in the first place, their whole desire was to get Windows on the PlayStation. That's all they really wanted to do. They didn't really want to make a console. They weren't really interested in that. They just wanted Windows to be on the biggest console or the number one gaming company in the world at that time, because they had Windows on everything else. So they said, well, Sony is the biggest, or the most successful video game manufacturer at the present time. So we want Windows to be on that. So they went to them with the proposal, and Sony basically told them to go kick rocks. So that turned out to be a rallying cry to say, okay, we'll show you. And that's how the Xbox was born. But then a few years later, Microsoft made a proposal to Nintendo to buy them. And if you remember, Nintendo said, we'll think about it. Remember that?
This is a first. So you breaking news for me. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. They actually made a pitch to buy Nintendo. Nintendo said, we'll think about it. But ultimately, Nintendo said, because it was more or less a buyout. That's all they wanted. They wanted to buy out Nintendo. And Nintendo basically said, you don't need the money. And they didn't, because at that point, Nintendo, they still had billions of dollars cash in the bank, just like they do now. They didn't need the money. It wasn't really advantageous for them, they felt. to sell out to Microsoft, and I guess they kind of a caveat or I should say a consolation prize to say, well, here you can have Rare instead. So that's probably what happened there, But I think that Microsoft's whole plan this whole time, or their whole desire this whole time, was to do what they're doing now. And for them to have built this infrastructure and now basically be in a position where neither Nintendo or Sony have that infrastructure to do cloud gaming like Microsoft or Google do. Nintendo has the money to do it, but they don't have the time. It would take billions of dollars and lots of years to try to set up that infrastructure from scratch. It's just not advantageous to even try to do that. And Sony doesn't have the money or the time to do it. So the best thing to do for those two companies is to just ride on the highway that somebody else paved. It's advantageous for everybody involved. Everybody wins in this situation. And, at some point, you're going to see games pass through to each other. You're going to see Nintendo games, Microsoft games, and Sony games on each other's consoles, because at this point, it's not about console wars anymore. That's dead. That's over with. That's finished. That's gone. That's past tense. This is about content now. If you want to say that these are the content wars, you can call it that now. It's the content wars. It's about who has the best content, who has the most content, and who has the most successful means to provide that content. If you look at all of entertainment right now, gaming is way behind the curve when it comes to streaming. We're already streaming movies. We're already streaming TV shows. We're streaming sports. The video game industry is the last thing to jump on the streaming bandwagon. And this is something that has to happen. They can't put this off anymore. And I think Nintendo understands that and Sony understands that. And they say, look, rather than wind up being like some of these brick and mortar stores that are closing and going out of business because they waited too long to jump on the internet bandwagon, we're going to jump on the streaming bandwagon while the train is still there to be caught before it leaves the station. And it's kind of like, I just brought the brick and mortar store comparison. Think about all these stores that we grew up knowing that are no longer here or on their way going out of business. And it's because they didn't want to adapt to what was going on. They didn't want to catch up with the internet buying frenzy. And now stores are closing left and right. Places like Kmart, and Sears, and JCPenney, and Bon-Ton stores, and KB Toys is gone. Toys R Us is gone. GameStop is on its way out. Radio Shack is gone. Payless Shoes is gone. There's so many different brands that are gone because they waited too long to jump on the bandwagon. And, Blockbuster is gone. So Nintendo and Sony's like, look, we're not going to wind up like those companies. We're going to go where the infrastructure is there for Microsoft. We might as well use it. There's no reason to be fighting with each other anymore. Let's just get on the bandwagon and see what we can do.
Okay, anybody else? Keith, you was finna say something, Keith. Go ahead and finish your thought.
No, I was actually finna say it was D2K's turn. And I do like everything he said. I mean, that's pretty much all we can say right now, because there's nothing set in stone. We can have fun with this and speculate and hope, but it's really just it's a business move, an infrastructure move. The two things that I really liked what D2K just said: Nintendo has the money, they don't have the time. Sony has neither, and it's like why waste time and pretend like we're gonna catch up to some. Why are we gonna? We can't catch up to Sonic. He's too fast. He may not look right. But he's too fast.
What it opens the door to, while keeping their independence in like what they make for their particular platforms, it opens the door for, let's use Nintendo. What is Nintendo's Achilles heel? Online services. Well, this opens the door for like a Nintendo to say, hey, not only will we use your streaming service, but Microsoft, we're gonna also use your online service. That way, because we don't, like you said, we got the money, but we ain't got time to fully invest and develop what you have already developed, and we can use it rather than using a third party. This will be third party, but using like a company like when EA was trying to get them to use what's EA's service?
Origin.
Origin, instead of going that route, hey, we can use Xbox Live to host our games. You see what I'm saying? And that's the only service you have. You're not. It's not like Microsoft is putting all their games on Nintendo, and all Nintendo games is available for Microsoft. It's just their service of online services used for the Nintendo uses their service to, offer their fans online game. And this opens a lot of doors.
A lot of doors.
That's why I think it's a huge step to, like D2K said, to kill all this me against you and all this stuff, where that will still exist because they will keep independent somewhat. But why worry about developing something where, hey, Microsoft does this well, let me just go over there and let them take care of this, and and we can keep it gaming, and this wards off outsiders trying to penetrate into this space. Like Google, like they had to come together because Stadia was a huge threat, whether we thought the tech was ready or not.
Exactly.
Google is so big they could not. When we said this, why everybody, this ain't a big deal, and it don't work. Okay, it's gonna work though.
Thing is, do we think? Is there anything else that would have made these companies come together like this? Without Stadia, do we have this announcement?
No,
not now, not this soon.
Now. Yeah,
not
this was
now.
provoked. Like we said, K-Bum. We said, if this ain't got their attention, nothing will. We said that while other people's like, y'all tripping. Well, saying the folks who looked at this for what it was
and got all excited and
like we wasn't excited as if we finna this all we want. We were saying, bruh, even if it ain't for me, this ain't no joke. We said that. This wasn't something you can just. I think D2K said Millie Mouth. He said something like that. You can't patty cake with what Google with Stadia is about to do. Whether Google stick with it or not, the fact that they are as big as they are and they have the money to rival, forget Sony and Nintendo, they got the money to rival Microsoft. Financially, they got the money to do that. Nintendo can't keep up with them financially. Sony definitely can't keep up with them financially. At one time, Sony could, but not now. And Microsoft is, out of the three, the only one financial-wise can keep up. But I don't even think Microsoft want to go up against Google and what Google is to most people. Like right now, we on Google doing this now. We
dying Google app, but yes,
Google Chrome. Like I got clown for using Explorer and not Google Chrome. So no, they had to respond to this, and to me, the only thing that made sense was coming together and not thinking this would happen this fast. This was crazy, and not to say that this wasn't already in the works, but this is dope. This is dope. I think it's a great thing. I think it's great. I don't see no losses here.
One thing that this could be advantageous for Nintendo is that this basically, if the xCloud works the way that Microsoft says it's going to work in terms of being able to leverage the cloud for better visuals and power and physics and whatnot. Yeah, this could basically answer or solve the problem with Nintendo in terms of third-party games on the Switch, because now you don't have to worry about the Switch being underpowered. You can play Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch, and instead of it looking like the PS3 version, it look like the PS5 version.
I didn't think about that. You're right.
And Nintendo can continue making games at the speed and the level that they're comfortable with, and third parties can keep bringing games to the Switch, and they don't have to suffer. It doesn't have to suffer anything if it can leverage the power of Microsoft's xCloud. So that is a huge plus for Nintendo if that is what direction that they go.
And let me answer this. I mean, back to Raheem. I feel what you're saying with Sony, but let's not kid ourselves. While the PlayStation 4 did sell like hotcakes, and while the PlayStation 4 is doing great, Sony, the company, still got to play their cards right. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, Sony is not in the boat with Microsoft and Nintendo. They doing the PlayStation has brought them out of the hole, but they still got to think smart going forward, because that just like the PlayStation 4 brought them out the hole, the PlayStation 5 can bring them back in one.
Or just like the PS3 put them in the hole.
Right.
Exactly. It's not that sweet. I mean, you came off the biggest selling console ever with the PlayStation 2, and then you got put in a $3 billion hole with the PlayStation 3.
Absolutely.
Right. And Nintendo and Microsoft, especially, Microsoft got so much money, it doesn't matter what they do with the Xbox division. That's how much money they have.
They can not care about it at all.
When Nintendo does their systems, it's cheap enough to where they can take a hit like the Wii U, and it didn't threaten them as a company as most folks would want to make it seem. Nintendo still had billions racked up. That was just like D2K said.
The Wii U didn't hurt them at all, because they were making a profit almost like a year after it was launched. They were already making a profit off it.
Off of the system, even though it was a failed system. It failed far as gaining, I guess, was a piece of the what's the word I'm looking for?
The market share.
Market share. There it is. But money-wise, Nintendo made money off of the Wii U. So this Sony, is in a different place. They have to right now. They have to play their cards right. They out the red, but they got to play their cards right. That's all we saying. But anything else we want to add to this topic? Anything else?
Yeah, I was talking a little bit about. I don't know if everyone got a chance to share their point of view about where does this take us? Like, what else do we see coming from this decision? What other trickle effects in gaming do we see happening based off the fact that two biggest guys are coming together? And granted, it is for streaming, game streaming, but like I said, are coming together to make the decision. What else do we see? What was that?
I want to jump in. I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you where it takes us to infinity. Well,
I wasn't ready for that one.
I think. I don't think it has anything to do with gaming per se. I think everything around us. I think our infrastructure, as far as like internet, has to improve. Pricing and who can come in. Is Comcast going to be the dominant player? And you got all these other people. They're going to have to step their games up too, to like basically go hand in hand with what the gaming industry is doing. You know what I mean? And that's going to be an opportunity for them to make those moves. So I think you'll see a lot. I can't give you more examples, but I think you'll see a lot more of the internet companies trying to figure out pricing and having to redo their own infrastructure, because we're not like Japan. Japan has a really great infrastructure as far as like internet and things like that. But you still got places in the United States that have dead spots. They're still getting 6 megabytes per second. You know what I mean? Upload. So you still got all these things. So I think in the long run, I think it will push the internet industry, or whatever you want to call it, industry, a little bit further. Kind of like the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox did for HD TVs. They pushed that because we were fine with our standard TVs, but then when those consoles came out, people were like, "Oh, I gotta go get me a high definition TV." Oh, they got Dolby. How you say it? Dolby Atmos.
Dolby Atmos.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I gotta go get the next sound bar. Those type of things, and they really are on the backbone of like gaming and movies and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and even I just read this Twitter quote by Phil Spencer, and he said, "Excited about the opportunities ahead with Sony for us to pursue our mutual gaming ambitions and delight players around the world."
Hmm. When did he make this tweet?
This was tweet was what did it say 12:30 p.m. May 16th. Yeah.
Wow. So this
Excited
is
about opportunities ahead with Sony for us to pursue our mutual gaming ambitions and delight players around the world. Absolutely.
so it just got real.
Yes.
it
Absolutely,
just
man.
got real.
Let me add this. I ain't trying to clarify. What we mean is, while Sony is as a company is worth more than Nintendo, the company, far as assets, yeah, they worth more than Nintendo. But on hand cash, that's what we saying, Raheem. On hand cash, Nintendo could stomach a few fails, whereas Sony cannot. See what I'm saying?
Too
Like,
much pride and other stuff.
Sony has a higher. I mean, the mark you cannot go by market cap because that goes up and down. Year in and year out. Sony has been as low as $9 billion market cap, and they've been as high as $100 billion. So they trade, they go up and down. Like the higher the Switch's popularity, Nintendo got close to like $72 billion, which is not as high as it was with the Wii, but which was at 80 billion, but pretty close. But now they're down to like about 40 billion. So you can't go by that. You can only go by how much money you actually got in the bank that you don't pay taxes on and can't nobody take it away from you. That's your money. And Nintendo got $10 to $15 billion cash in the bank. So they got way more money than Sony.
On that note, though, Nintendo fans, if you hear my voice, we gotta stop just saying or accepting a failure and be like, oh well, we're gonna be okay. No, we gotta still hold Nintendo to a higher standard.
yeah.
Then we're gonna be okay because we got money in the bank. No, Nintendo has money in the bank, and I want to see them succeed and continue to do great with the product that they're giving me. So let's not be like, oh, they got money in the bank, we're gonna be okay. Nope, that's a loss.
No, I was just trying to clarify. I was just trying to clarify what we meant.
Yeah, I understand.
Cause Sony as a company, they might have more assets. They might have, and that can be like D2K. It fluctuates, but they're a larger company because they got their hands in multiple things beyond just gaming. But like D2K said, cash, on hand cash. Yeah, my Nintendo is not hurting at all. So. But anyway, that ain't what we're here to talk about. We just wanted to clarify that. Do we want to continue on this topic? Do you think we hit it good enough, K-Bob?
Hold on. I want to give one more example to that. What's the girl name? Tiffany Haddish. They said she was worth something. I can't remember how much they said she was worth. And she was on stage. She was like, "But where is it?" You know what I'm saying? These are assets and things that people will pay, yada yada yada. But that don't mean you have that money.
Right. It's estimated. It's but yeah, it ain't real money. It's kind of fantasy, isn't? But if they liquidate you,
all that's gone.
Yeah.
IRS said, "Well, we've taken your house, we've taken your property, we've taken your hotels, taken your cars. You ain't got jack."
Right. Yeah. So right. That's why Nintendo. Like D2K said, when Microsoft offers, like, bro, we good on money, but we think about it. But anyway, let's go to K-Bob. You want to hit on anything else with this topic? You want to move on to?
We can move. I would just I know I had a quick thought, and my quick thought was just thinking about. And I know Nintendo heard rumblings of this, and I don't know if they were even approached to join and be part of Voltron. But I'm wondering if they were not approached, if they feel like the odd man out, or if they turned it down, then what did they have in store? Because you can't just walk past something like this and see your two enemies join forces together and you don't have a plan. So I don't know if it's a question, but that's what's going through my head.
The only thing in terms of streaming, the only thing that I can think they could do would be to leverage their relationship with Nvidia, because Nvidia has a streaming network that's nowhere near as robust as what Microsoft or Google has, but it's there because they do cloud gaming with GeForce Now. And that's the only thing that they could possibly do, because it's our infrastructure is already set up to work with the Switch, because the Switch is basically a portable Nvidia Shield. So,
correct.
I would say this in that last you got more to say? Did you go ahead?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was going to say in that last, I guess the last interview or business meeting, whatever they had, the dude was asked about cloud gaming, and he said, I think one of the CEOs, or the CEO or whatever, he said that it's not something that they're looking to implement or do or jump into right now, but they are keeping an eye on it and they are watching it. You know, they don't think it's valuable or something that, you know, kind of like what they did with HD gaming. Like, we'll watch it. And I felt the same way, DJK. I was like, man, I don't think y'all necessarily need to make a streaming
okay, Blockbuster.
But at the same time, y'all need to do
okay, Radio Shack.
Right. Y'all need to do more than just watch and keep, you know, keeping up with what's going on. Y'all need to be preparing yourself for that. So hopefully I feel like if you're gonna do it, you might need to just jump on with Microsoft and do it in one place, both companies. But they might think that's giving Microsoft too much power. Or too much leverage. I don't know. But I'm with you. I don't think they could just idly stand by and just spectate into and be reactive rather proactive. I think Sony is being proactive. They see it for what it is, and then, you know, hey, we gonna hedge our bet over here. At least we know this enemy. You know what I'm saying? And our success is vital to them. Like, they need, just like I remember what they said, even when Nintendo and everybody was saying Nintendo was finna go third party, and many companies like, we don't want to see that. We need Nintendo. We need what Nintendo brings to the equation. When Nintendo does well, we all do well. And I didn't get it. I really did not. I was like, how are y'all doing well when Nintendo does well? Now looking at the Switch and how, since the Switch has been so vital and you know, selling well, it has helped with the sales overall. And it has helped with gaming now that Nintendo is doing well, and I'm getting it. Like, there's a certain aesthetic that Nintendo brings to gaming that you need them there, just like you need Microsoft and you need Sony. I don't think you can really lose any of these three right now. No. So yeah, I hope they, like D2K said and Keith said, that they don't just sit on the sideline and watch, but they be active participants in what's going on and help Microsoft, you know what I'm saying, kind of hedge off. And this could be what Microsoft decides to do. And like, look, we lead a gaming space. Y'all just keep your, like you were saying earlier,
keep giving us money.
Just let us put our let us have our name associated,
our technology.
Yeah, let us be the tech that you use, and we gladly, you know, do what we doing on the side, because this ain't our main thing. Gaming is not Microsoft's main thing. It is Sony and Nintendo's now, but it definitely ain't. I don't even know if it's Sony's main thing now. I think they still got music and movies. So
yeah, they still got it, but this is profitable.
This they most profitable.
It's the most.
I don't know about most, but they do make good money on gaming, because gaming was
they were leaning heavily on the success of PlayStation 4 for a while in those lean years. You know,
okay.
Yeah.
Because they were losing out on everything else too.
Yeah.
Like they actually sold their PC laptops and everything, man. So yeah, this was doing a lot for them.
Okay. Well, let's end this, because we gave this pretty much an hour.
Yeah.
So let's move on. We could talk about Mario Maker 2 if y'all want to, or we could talk about this thought about evergreen titles. I think I'd rather talk about evergreen titles. Don't get me wrong, I think Mario Maker 2 looks great, and I admit I never played the original one for the Wii U, but I like what I saw. And I might pick this up. It was great. I think it's loaded with material. I think it's I think it's very much worth the pay. You know what? Worth the entry price. But I want to talk about this topic. I'm gonna be front, but it's up to y'all. Which way y'all want to go?
Yeah. I like the top about Evergreen. I think that's a good topic.
So I was listening to, I forgot who it was, and it made me think about what we really mean when we say evergreen. We use this a lot with Nintendo's first party. They evergreen titles, and the fact that Mario, let's use Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was a launch title, and even to this day, Breath of the Wild is still $59.99. Whereas
Still, that's why these Nintendo titles.
Man, stop with that fake outrage. That wasn't real.
No, for real. Like I would buy Nintendo titles if they were like $20.
All right, but then okay, so right, so
I'm
now
just saying, like that's
right,
why I game fly, so I don't buy titles unless they're a good deal.
So I remember when we talked about the concept of evergreen titles, and how Nintendo fans boast about Nintendo games being evergreen, and most time they talk about them holding their value as far as the price. And to me, like UK Bum, I feel like once a game been on the shelf for a while, it should start to show in price that it's been on the shelf for a while. But I rethought what evergreen means. Now scratching the price, to me, evergreen means no matter at what stage you buy that particular device, these games are must buys for that device. So if you buy a Switch next year, or you buy a Switch even when the successor comes, if you buy a Switch, you must buy Breath of the Wild. But let me stick with just this Switch in this generation. At any point that you buy the Switch, you gotta buy Breath of the Wild, you gotta buy Mario Odyssey, you gotta buy Mario Kart Deluxe, like these type of titles.
And FIFA 18.
No, you don't stop. But you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like Breath of the Wild, no matter what year in the life of the Switch is a must buy. And my question is, if that's the concept that makes a evergreen game an evergreen game, does Sony or Microsoft have evergreen titles? That's my thought. Because to me, if I bought a Switch, say next year, I'm thinking Breath of the Wild must be bought. I gotta buy that game, and I don't think it's going to be a diminished experience visually or aesthetically. I mean, or experience as far as gameplay wise. I don't feel like I missed out on it because I bought it 4 or 5 years after it came out. That's what I think of evergreen titles. Like you would have the same exact feeling of feeling satisfied, just like you would had you bought a day one when the Switch came out. Like, does Sony have titles like that, or Microsoft? Go ahead, Keith. Go ahead, Keith.
Does Sony have titles like that? They could if they wanted to, if they treated them that way. But they like to make the Game of the Year editions. They like to put all of their titles, like the Uncharted collection. They do a lot of that, man. My computer just went to sleep. I am on my computer. Listen, they could if they wanted to, but I also feel like one of the things I think that kind of hurts Nintendo is the fact that we do have those evergreen. So it's like when you say a Mario, you think, oh, Mario's the evergreen title. No, which Mario title? Sony, on the other hand, because I can't even say anything about Microsoft. Well, I guess I could, but Sony, on the other hand, they clear it out and they make room for new things, whereas Nintendo doesn't. Because you get a bunch of new IPs from Sony all the time. All the time. You're like, where'd this game come from? Days Gone, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? You getting new stuff. So no, they don't really have evergreen titles. Microsoft, you could say the Halo franchise, but I think the fifth one took a hit from some people. But no, Sony, maybe to Microsoft, and yes to Nintendo.
Okay. D2K.
Well, just to piggyback off of what Keith just said, I think that with Microsoft in this generation, I don't think any of their first party titles really hit that evergreen mark. I think that the franchises themselves in the past have been evergreen titles like Forza, Halo, Gears. Those basically the big three for Microsoft. But there's been a couple of Forzas, but they're just kind of like, played one Forza, you played them all. Halo 5 was a huge misstep, and it did serious damage to the franchise, quite honestly. Gears 4 was okay. There was nothing about it that was. For me, Gears really kind of ended with 3. It just didn't feel like it needed to go on anymore after that. And everything after that kind of seemed like you just kind of beating a dead horse. It's like, okay, we had resolution at the end of 3. We don't need any more of these. And they keep going. They should have branched off and made something new, completely new, but similar to that, rather than just keeping the whole Gears franchise going with new characters, because people are like, I don't want to play these new characters. I don't care about these new people. I don't care about this chick. I don't care about Marcus Phoenix's son. I want to play as Marcus Phoenix. I want to play as Coltrane. I want to play as Dom. Well, you can't play those people anymore. So what's the point? So, it kind of is damaging that even have those franchises anymore. So this generation, most definitely Microsoft didn't have evergreen titles. I haven't owned the Sony console since the PlayStation 2, so I can't really speak on that too much. I mean, I guess God of War 4 is an evergreen title. I don't think that if I were to buy a PlayStation 4 today, I would definitely be buying that. I would definitely be buying Uncharted 4. I'll definitely be buying Horizon Zero Dawn, even though that's a new game. I feel like those are must-have, must-play games if you own a PlayStation 4, especially PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm like, why would you even get that console and not play those games? Spider-Man, stuff like that. I don't know if you can say that these are habitual evergreen titles, but I guess you have to ask a Sony fan that question.
I don't know one.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to bring the Sony fan, the residential Sony fan.
Where he at?
Man, you was going to say something. You was going to say something. I was open to letting you give me the floor.
I was talking about cable, and I was like, I just happen to know one.
Go ahead, K-Bum.
No problem, man.
What you should know. Like this generation, and then you could go like what D2K did in general. But this generation, PlayStation 4, Microsoft, Xbox One, do you feel like they have evergreen titles?
Absolutely. I got. I heard that.
Go ahead. So, I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, if you get a PS4, most definitely God of War is evergreen. Especially the way they stepped up this God of War as far as storytelling, everything was absolutely, and even pretty much all of the God of Wars have been evergreen, every last one of them. And so I would definitely say yes. I would definitely say that for Uncharted, just the quality of the Uncharted series says it's evergreen. I mean, the quality has always been there. It's always been top notch. And I know people hate the fact that these are movie games, as people were saying, these heavily story-driven games, but you can't deny the quality. And the quality is on the highest of almost any video game that you can mention. And so definitely on that note. As far as the Xbox, just thinking of, I know Halo, since I'm not an Xbox guy, I know Halo at one time would absolutely have been evergreen. I think Halo pretty much sold the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 was pretty much off of the back of Halo. And I would definitely agree with D2K and agree with, even though I don't like the series, I still think Gears of War would definitely have been evergreen, because that was definitely the title. If you bought it, because that's what I bought when I bought my Xbox 360. I bought Gears of War, and so absolutely. But I would take it a little bit further. And I know Level is not going to be here to hear this, so maybe I want to fill him in. Okay, cool. I would also extend it, since we're talking about the PlayStation and Xbox. I would also extend this to third party, because there are definitely some third party experiences that I would consider evergreen. One of that being the game I have yet to finish, which is The Witcher. If you bought an Xbox or a 360, you should have bought or played The Witcher. It is that level of a game that nothing else can compare to The Witcher. Nothing. There's nothing that you have played in the past or that you have played currently that compares to that experience. So that is, and that's why it still sells even now. People are still buying The Witcher, almost 5 years removed from when the game came out. And then Red Dead is absolutely evergreen. You say what?
Red Dead Auto 5? The one that came out.
Yeah. Five, but 5 was a port to this generation. But it would have also been evergreen, and so would Red Dead. It's just if you buy an Xbox or a Sony product, because those games are not on Nintendo, these you would definitely see these in just the common man's video game library. You would see a Grand Theft Auto, you would see a Red Dead, you would see maybe not The Witcher. I don't think that's an everyman's game, but it should be, because these are must buy.
Quality of the game is meaning if you own a 360, a PlayStation or Xbox One, The Witcher 3 is of a quality that no matter when you buy that system,
it doesn't matter.
That game should be something you consider buying.
It does not matter when you buy it. It is beautiful. Like I said, it's about 4 or 5 years old, and it still holds up.
Okay,
it's still a nice looking game, and it's still the combat and the story. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I would send it to the third party and say that definitely those guys are the ones that you would have to add in there as well. It's probably more, but those are the ones I would want to call out.
Okay. Did you, Keith? You went? Yeah, you did. You did go. I was going to say, to me, you named some good games, because some games are only, to me, good in the moment of the hype of it coming out, and once that fades out.
Right.
Hold up, just a sec.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, did y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Y'all heard me?
I heard it, baby.
No, we heard you. We heard your daddy.
You heard my oldest daughter. Yeah, but no, some games you gotta buy within the window of it coming out. Like to me, Call of Duty. If you miss Call of Duty or Madden or and some first party titles are like this. Like, okay, I don't think Uncharted is like this, but that Uncharted game that came out, the spinoff.
The Lost Worlds.
Lost Worlds is like, if you didn't buy it in the window of the hype and excitement and when it first came out, there's not enough there to warrant going unless you catch it at a good deal, playing it. Like, let's say it was still like holding this value, or
I don't think I would pay $39 for that where it came out at 3 years from now. I don't see.
While you say you wouldn't do that with Breath of the Wild, and I can agree with that from a personal position, but it's still.
I didn't say I wouldn't do that for Breath of the Wild. It's other Nintendo titles. Like, I wouldn't do that for a Mario game. I wouldn't pay $59 for a Mario game. Never in my life would I do that.
That's why I'm using Breath of the Wild. We will all say we would love for Breath of the Wild price to kind of show the signs of its age or how long it's been on the shelf, that the price should reflect, hey, this game has been on the shelf for a long time. It was $59 when it first came out. It should depreciate value-wise 3-4 years, like anything else. At this time, we feel this game was worth $39 or $29. But the quality of the game, it can still get away with being sold at its original price 4 years later. And not many of us will argue against that fact because of how good Breath of the Wild is. D2K brought up a good game. I still want to play Horizon Zero Dawn. I still, to this day, plan on getting that game, 4 years later? Not Grand Theft Auto, but Uncharted 4, to me, flirts with that. Definitely Uncharted 2. I don't know about 4. I don't know how you feel about 4K, but
I still think if you have a PlayStation, if you bought a PlayStation, you still wouldn't want to play that game, even though it wasn't the best Uncharted. I still think there's an experience that you will want to play.
Uncharted 4?
Yes.
Okay, I agree with that. I think God of War 4 definitely evergreen. Like, if you own a PlayStation 4, I don't care if you buy it 2 years from now, you gotta buy God of War 4. If you don't play that game, to me, you missing out on what the PlayStation 4 is all about. But Microsoft, I don't know, man. Halo, I hear y'all saying Halo. Yeah, I guess so. I guess the original 2 Halos.
Well,
Gears, the original Gears, I would say absolutely. Everything after that is no. If you didn't catch it at that moment, I don't think it's Gears of War 2 ain't worth playing again, in my opinion. Gears of War 3 ain't worth playing through a second or third time. Gears of War 4, same difference. Not worth is if you didn't catch it in that moment, I think it don't hold its value. But the original Gears, till this day, is a dope game.
I would say that as far as the campaign, the original Gears and the original Halo are priceless.
Yeah.
In terms of the multiplayer,
Okay.
Gears 2 and 3, Halo 2 and 3, ODST, Reach, Halo 4, those, it's still worth having those games for those reasons.
See, I couldn't argue against you on that, because I never really got into the multiplayer aspect. I was just saying about the single player story-driven experience. Like you said, the original Halo, and I even say Halo 2. Like, both of them games, to me, I would say Halo 2. What about the one on 360? That Halo is deserving of
Halo 3. Yeah, I mean, they weren't bad. It's just that they weren't as good as the original. Was perfection. The original Halo was, in that Omega level, type game. That's like, Mario 64, Sonic, the original Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like that, in that category where it's like the Keystone franchise game, Mario 3 level, that type of thing that defines a console and helps define a generation. That's what Halo helped define. Didn't create. It helped define the first-person shooter genre.
And the 6th generation, right?
Well, that's the 7th generation.
Now, let me ask this, and Keith, you can bring. Is that you who just said? You can add that. You can bring that up here. I ask this last question on this. What are some titles that are considered evergreen, and this Nintendo included, that definitely should not be considered evergreen? Go ahead, you laugh. Go ahead.
I was about to be funny and say Ocarina of Time, but
I'll have to come up and get you.
No,
what happened to Keith? I don't even know. That's a really good question. I'm gonna pass that off to somebody else. I don't even know.
D2, like I said, it could be Nintendo. It can be anyone. Like we know, we say a lot of Nintendo games. Most of their first party we consider evergreen. You know, a large portion. You know, just think about some of them titles. Do you feel like some of them titles should have been considered evergreen? Like, you know, I throw the D2K and Keith or K-Bum and come back to you, Keith. You want me to? Go ahead, D2.
You know, I think I've said on the show before, but I played Breath of the Wild for about 30 minutes, and I accomplished something. I think there was some task where you had to roll around like a ball in this big cage or something like that, and flip yourself up on this other stair. It was something weird. You had to flip yourself off of this platform cage thing and roll yourself into this nice little cubby hole that unlocked the door. That's the only thing I really did, and I did some exploring on Breath of the Wild. Talked to some people, rode the horse. I'm like, I played. I'm like, I never need to play this again. I never need to see this again. I never need to touch it. I'm done. I'm done with this. And I kind of felt the same way about Mario Odyssey. The one part that I saw on the commercials that was cool, and I still think it's cool, of how you can transition from 3D to 2D back to 3D seamlessly. I still think that's incredible how they did that. I got to play that part, and I said, okay, I got to do what I wanted to do. Don't need to play this anymore either. And, for me, it was like, it was too much of what I've already done before. It wasn't anything that like, well, I've never done this before. Yes, I have. I've seen all this. I've done all this. So for me, those titles were not evergreen on the Switch at all.
Okay. I got one, but I'm gonna let K-Bum go unless he want me to go before him.
What are we talking about?
Ooh, I got one.
Titles that are considered evergreen and then you gotta have played it or at least experienced some of it that you feel like should not be considered evergreen.
Oh, ones that's considered. Oh, so that'll be just on the Nintendo system then, right? It's your floor. It's whatever you feel. Nintendo, anything. If it's Nintendo, go with it. I mean, those are only people who are considered evergreen, right?
Well, we just named some games we felt were evergreen.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we were talking about the actual source of it. Okay,
I think he's being.
I'm just trying to understand how the game is being played here.
He set it up to mow everybody down. Go ahead.
No, man, I ain't got to mow nobody down.
Mow the weed down. Clean the garden out. Go ahead.
No, man, I don't got to mow nobody down. No, it's all good, man. It's just Donkey Kong's trash. I don't know. It just seems so trash to me. I don't know. I know it's a platformer and everything. It just seems so trash.
Which the original one?
No, I'm talking about the whatever the
Tropical Freeze and all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. And people was like, this game is it looks so trash to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. It's just I see it, and I don't like I'm not a big platformer. Everybody know that, but that game just
I don't consider those two. I mean, I think they were great games, don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't put them in my evergreen category either.
And Yoshi,
no, absolutely
we
not.
We don't consider Yoshi evergreen.
Okay, I'm just okay, good.
Donkey Kong, by many folks will say Donkey Kong is evergreen. Now, I'm not saying it's not a good game.
No, that's not what I'm saying either.
I don't think it's one of them titles if you own. Well, I would say on the Wii U, yeah. If you never played it, if you're a Nintendo fan, I understand you saying Donkey Kong is a title that you must have. Personally, it's not for me, but I can understand those who feel that way about it. But no, it's not one of what I would consider evergreen. But yeah, I feel you on that. Any other ones?
I
definitely don't feel D2K on Breath of the Wild. I would give you Odyssey. I think you got a strong argument for Odyssey, even though I think it's an evergreen title. if you own a Switch, you need to get Odyssey. But I can see the argument for Odyssey. I can't see the argument for Breath of the Wild. But again, that's your sentiments about it. Any other ones, K-Bone?
No, I just had to get those off my chest. So I'm good.
Okay, Keith.
Kirby. Not Kirby.
Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Not evergreen. Yoshi. That's not evergreen. I don't think that's evergreen.
Uh,
Before you say what you're finna say, as far as Nintendo pricing go, they treat all their titles like evergreen. Almost like 90% of their first party titles is priced like they're evergreen. So technically, you're right. So go ahead and make your point.
all right.
If it's 3-4 years old and it's still $59.99, then they treating it like an evergreen title. So you're right. So technically, you're right.
All right, I got one. GoldenEye 007. That game is doo-doo stew. But back in the day, we loved it.
Oh, wait, what game?
GoldenEye
for
for the N64.
You say what? That is the Godfather of
Yeah, but does it hold up? I guess to me, an evergreen title has to hold up even to this day.
It is doo-doo stew, bro.
You know, I mean, I'll
does it hold up?
I'll agree with that. There are certain games that just don't age well, and GoldenEye is one of those games. I think that when we think about certain games, we look at them through nostalgia, rose-colored glasses, and we remember how awesome they were at the time, and then that when we go back and play them again, if we're being honest with ourselves, it's like, man, this doesn't look good at all. But there's certain games like Ocarina of Time, I can play that right now and have just as much fun playing it now as I did when I first turned it on. Even though the graphics, obviously are, terrible by today's standards, it's not so bad that it's like an eyesore. The graphics were actually bad for GoldenEye. They really were. I mean, the people look like cardboard mannequins or something. It was just the play mechanics were so tight and so smooth more than any shooter we've ever played that we kind of dismissed how bad the game actually looked. So yeah, I'll definitely agree that that's not really an evergreen title in terms of visuals.
Not, I mean, as far as our opinions, it's not one of them games.
I couldn't play that. I couldn't play that.
Yeah, like I could play Mario. I could still play Super Mario Kart on the Super NES and still enjoy it. Like, but a game to me that I don't think is evergreen is Super Mario Sunshine. I do not think that's an evergreen.
Oh no, that game I don't even.
To me, that game was absolute letdown for me. Like, it did not live up to. And I know a lot of people like Sunshine. I don't feel like Sunshine. I don't feel like it was a great game.
That was pretty good, man. I really did.
I hated Sunshine. I hated the conclusion. I hated the set pieces. The only part of Sunshine I liked was the ones when you jumped into the I don't know what it would, but it would kind of give you like the N64 stage setting look. Like you warp into this dimension, and it would be isolated to get the star, but it looked like 64. But outside, I honestly hated. I hated Sunshine. I honestly hated Sunshine. I got a love-hate relationship with Odyssey. I think Odyssey is a great game. I definitely would not say it's not a evergreen. Like, I won't go so far as what D2K said, but I have a love-hate relationship with Odyssey. It's too easy, in my opinion. It's too easy of a game, and to me, they cut corners.
Odyssey is not evergreen. Odyssey?
I said it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm explaining why I told D2K I feel like there is an argument for its not being. Like he said, it wasn't. I said Breath of the Wild is definitely to me evergreen. Odyssey is evergreen to me too, but I can see the argument that he's making to make it not be. Even though Nintendo would never price it lower than $59.99, and I think it's worth that even today. But me and Keith made the arguments. This game, Nintendo cheated in some factors on this title. A lot of cheating going on here. A lot of, some moons you found and you weren't even trying to find them. Keep in my line. You found moons. You just ran and just discovered the moon just by running. You didn't look for the moon. There was no indication that the moon was there. You just ran and blew moon. Oh, okay. I just found the moon. Just running through the like that. Like, dude, you found moons floating, just swimming underwater and just chasing a trail of coins and found the moon. Like, dude, it was.
He says you were just running blue.
I'm serious, Keith. And my front, like, it was. Some of these moons were so, like, you did not put no thought to this moon. Like, whereas in Mario 64, the star placement was ridiculous. Like, I remember one star was behind a waterfall, and you on this huge ledge way across from it, and you didn't know how you was going to jump to that star. You didn't like, and when
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it was so cool. You see it is there, but like, how the heck am I gonna get to this star? But you had to be real clever in your jump in ability of jumping and diving to get to that star.
Well, Nintendo kind of messed themselves up with Odyssey in that they changed the way it was mechanically made. Like, they had all the stuff in the game at one time, where it's like 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2. The set pieces changed when you went back into the stage. So you can have different things going on within the same stage, but when you got everything there, that's the stage is a what's the word? Start with an S. Not stagnant, but
simple.
Not simple. But the stage doesn't change. It's the same stage. Static. Thank you. The stage just stays the same, and it's kind of like a gift and a curse. Like you said, you running. Oh wow, let me ground pound real quick. Oh, I got a moon. All right.
Right. You hear the child like, oh, I just ran over. Oh, let me jump up and that's a moon. Oh, okay. So I'm with you. Go ahead though. You just finish your point. I don't want to take over. You weren't done.
No, I was gonna say it just lost its significance,
I noticed a little bit of that in Mario 3D World for the Wii U, how easy it was to get lives. Like, you could just find a trick, like you just grab a turtle shell and find like a wall or something, and then just do an infinite jump, bloop 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 bloop, and eventually you just keep getting 1-ups.
Yeah, that's true.
That's too easy,
It was Mario 3D World wasn't necessarily, it got challenging at parts, but I was still saying, I'll just go out here. Mario 3D World I enjoyed that game. Like, I enjoyed their take with Koopa and like the music, and even though it wasn't a true full-fledged 3D, a 3D space like Odyssey or 64 or Sunshine Mario, some of the stuff that they did in 3D World, they should have brought over in a more major. Like, don't get me wrong, I thought the top hat Koopa I thought all that was cool, but that Koopa didn't have nothing on him. Koopa in 3D World, like when you get behind him and he on that car and he throwing the bombs and you hear that music, and to me, 3D World had, I don't know, I think it's an evergreen title. And I'm gonna be honest here, hindsight, I think I enjoyed 3D World a little bit more than Odyssey. I don't think, let me ask this, Keith, K-Bomb, to a lesser sense, D2K, do y'all think Splatoon is evergreen?
It's getting there.
You think it's evergreen?
For Wii U, absolutely.
I mean, for both. I mean, because there's pretty much the same experience. I think it is.
I don't think it had the same impact on the Switch that it did on the Wii U.
No, nowhere near.
I don't think that is really. I mean, if you get a Switch, you don't really have to play Splatoon 2. But if you have the Wii U, I mean, what else? I mean, it's not. I mean, the reason why I would say it's not an evergreen title on the Switch is because there's a lot more to offer. The Switch has a lot more to offer than the Wii U did. So with the Wii U, you had so few watershed titles in the first place. You had to, take what you can get.
Right now, but will we count because of the original Halo? Will we count that against the Halos that came after it? I don't feel like it's fair to I guess knock down Splatoon 2 because of the newness of the original Splatoon. I think both are evergreen, but I guess I see your argument. Like
I said, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good game to have. I'm just saying that if you own the Switch, Splatoon 2 is not a must-have. I've got to play this game if I have the Switch, because it's not like a completely different experience. It's not like it is different, but not so different. It's like a whole new experience, and it's like Halo 2 was vastly different than Halo 1.
Right.
So that's the reason why I say it's not. But Halo 2, you had to play, or Halo 3, I should say, because Halo 1 and 2 was on original Xbox. Halo 3, you had to get that for the Xbox 360.
Okay. Shout outs to the truth.
This game is good.
But I got lost in it too, man. They let Iguodala, however you say his name, penetrate deep into the paint. But no, any other titles? I guess I don't want to just stick with Nintendo, but
here's a question. What about sports titles? I mean, are Madden and 2K considered evergreen franchises?
They're kind of like Call of Duty. Once you miss it, you miss it, and on to the next one.
There is one sports title that is evergreen.
They be giving Steph Curry
at least one.
Hold up, man. They be giving Steph Curry bull calls, bro. Absolutely bull calls, man.
You done?
Anyway, go ahead.
So no, there is a sport. I don't know if it's the only sports game, but there is a sports game that is evergreen as of right now, and that is NCAA 2014. If you don't know why that game is evergreen, it's because there isn't any more college football games, and that game is so seeked after that people are still playing their PlayStation 3 just to play that game. People are still hooking up their PlayStation 3 and their 360 to play that game because there isn't any more college football games being made. So that is the one of the only ones that I would kind of put in that evergreen because it still holds up now. You can still play it and enjoy it and have fun with that game. So that is probably the only one I would kind of give that evergreen status to.
That kind of opens up another can of worms of games that are still active today, and they actually still have online servers active for certain games because they were such mega hits on certain consoles. I can't really think of them off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there's some more besides that one.
Actually, so if I had to pick something else, I would call Call of Duty evergreen. The Modern Warfare, COD4. That one I would. That one people play. You can pick up right now because they have the. I know they have the upgraded version, but even people was still playing their PS3 version of Call it COD4.
The fact that they updated.
There you go, Curry, on the opposite team. Thank you, Curry.
Folks, what you hear is a Golden State hater.
I can't stand Golden State, man. I really can't. Go ahead.
Well, we got
They
somebody,
too
we got
light-skinned,
somebody
that's
for
all
him,
it
but
is.
you know, we got somebody for him.
Draymond Green, goat mouth, have himself, man. I can't stand none of them.
And they doing this. Remember, they're doing this with people, with the person they said they couldn't do it without. Just
I
remember
mean,
that.
it's the Blazers. They ain't gonna do it against Bucks.
Okay, all right.
Show link. No.
And they did it against Houston. And they did it against Houston.
Well, stay on topic. Go on, man.
I'm just saying. The same people. Okay.
I'm gonna mute my yelling on them. Go ahead.
No, that's just, if I had to pick one that I thought would evergreen, and I thought that could stand the test of time, I think COD4 was definitely that game.
Okay. Any other Maddens? No.
Nah.
No.
Well, as far as football in general, ESPN NFL 2K5.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that Sega tennis game too. What was that?
What was that?
For the Sega Dreamcast, the tennis game.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
I can't think of the name of it, but that's an evergreen.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and that's a game that graphically still holds up.
Yeah,
right. After all this time.
What about Ready to Rumble?
No, not Ready to Rumble. No,
it was fun at the time. It's kind of goofy
Fight
now.
Night?
Oh yeah, Fight Night.
3?
Yeah, Fight Night.
Round 3.
Round 3.
Yeah, I think round 3 would be the one. Right? That was the best one.
I wonder how
I'm not sure about that.
I know this is off the topic, but I wonder how the Curry's family is cheering for this.
I don't understand what's going on with that. Why are they wearing Blazer jerseys and cheering for the Blazers whenever they make baskets? What is up with that? What are they?
I
heard they flipped the coin who they're gonna root for.
They root for both of them. I would.
And the point
I heard they flipped the coin. That's what I heard.
They're weird. Hollywood people, I'll tell you.
I hope it comes down to the Curry brother with the last shot and hit it, man, to put him over. God, how did y'all mess that up? Steph ain't that good, y'all. Stop.
See, that's a pure hater. That would.
I don't hate. Listen, I don't hate Steph. I don't hate Steph. I hate the Warriors
in our entire life.
I think people are tired of them being so. It's something that's always happened. It's like me. I remember when my first couple of days in school, when in college, one of my professor was passing out papers, and this is just after the Bulls had won the 6th championship. He was like, "Man, are you guys sick and tired of Bulls winning all the time?" Now, I was a Bulls fan, so I'm like, "No," but everybody else, now looking back, I can understand why other people were sick and tired of seeing like they ain't their team winning all the time, so they sick and tired of Jordan winning all the time. It does become boring, and I think that's what's going on with Golden State. People just sick and tired of the Splash Brothers. They're sick and tired of Steph Curry chewing on his mouthpiece. Sick and tired of Draymond Green's lips. They sick and tired of.
I ain't tired of his lips. I'm tired of him opening his mouth, having his mouth gapped open. Like, dude, would you shut your mouth? Like,
he shoot like he got a backpack. He wearing a backpack.
My thing with the Warriors, is this. It's almost like Mike Tyson. Not to say that Mike Tyson wasn't one of the best boxers ever, but I think a lot of people probably could have beat Mike Tyson a lot earlier if they didn't fear Mike Tyson so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like it ain't that Steph is so great. I feel like folks give Steph, they beat themselves with Steph. It ain't Steph beating you. You beating yourself because it's Steph. Whether if you realize, dude, his dribbling is dope, but it ain't Kyrie. If you they triple team Steph and just left Draymond Green wide open, right? When you probably could have just kept one dude on him and stuck with your man. Steph had nowhere to go. That's my thing with
I see you saying, but you just said one of the dumbest thing I've ever heard, which is
what?
But the only time Mike lost was because he was pretty much
Mike lost because the dude that was fighting against him wasn't scared of him.
No. That's not why Mike lost. I'm sorry you believe that. But
I do believe that.
that is not why Michael Jordan. Mike
That's
Tyson.
one of the reasons.
No,
It's a factor.
he was not. He talks about it. It was not because he didn't even care. He was out drinking.
I understand that. I'm not saying
it wasn't because he wasn't just not scared.
Listen, no, I get that. But this is my thing. Let's say Buster Douglas came into, and I'm pretty sure he could have beat Buster Douglas if he came into the ring. I know he would have. I know he might have. Fact, I would say he did beat him because the count was so long. But this is what I'm saying. Let's say Buster Douglas was fearful of Mike like most folks got into the ring. Mike still would have won that fight. What I'm saying is because Buster Douglas wasn't, I guess because of the death of his mom and all that, he wasn't as scared. Mike, I'm pretty sure Mike got into the ring like that a couple of times. But because he was so good and the other person was so scared of his mystique and his aura and who he was, he had him beat before the bell rung. Whereas
I agree with that. I mean, if you think about it, that was the blueprint on how to beat Mike Tyson. Everybody who beat him after that point followed the exact same blueprint. They didn't back down from it. Everybody that Tyson beat from that point on were people who were scared of him. They bought into the hype. They said, I'm gonna just go in there and try to prove that I'm more man than he is, and that doesn't work, and he'll get you out of there early. But if it's somebody who just says, I'm gonna do what I came here to do, I ain't scared of you. Tyson couldn't handle any of those people.
All right, they took him to distance.
But I would say to say that Buster was not the first person to get in the ring and not be afraid of Mike Tyson. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
some people just weren't good enough.
Yeah, some people weren't good enough. I'm just saying that night,
they just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, that night, I'm pretty sure if Mike got in his full strength, he probably wouldn't. I know he would have knocked Buster Douglas out, but I believe Mike could have knocked anybody out, even at half strength. It's just that night he wasn't scared, and because he wasn't scared, he was going for broke. Whether he got caught by Mike or not.
But if Mike didn't do what he did, it didn't matter how non-scared Buster.
I agree with that.
He would have got knocked out like the rest of them.
Yeah, because I think he probably would have finished him after he knocked him down.
Yeah, he would have finished him out. Yeah. But he would have finished probably in the first 2 rounds. But I'm saying, had Mike got into the ring with a person in the same condition Mike was in, and that person was scared, Mike would have knocked him out. Drunk or have concussed or whatever he was. But I agree with you, K-Bum. I ain't disagree. I'm just saying. But anyway, maybe that wasn't a good analogy. But my point is,
I don't like Golden State. Is your point?
Yeah, Golden State to me, like with KD, KD has carried them, like kept them from being exposed. I think it was teams that could have beat the Warriors before KD, and I think they would have lost like that after they lost to my boys.
After they broke the best record in basketball.
Yeah, and I think the following year they would have been beat again. I think the Warriors would have got beat by that Kyrie.
That LeBron. Congratulations. That's fine.
I said I believe. Keyword believe.
We kind of ventured off to a whole different kind of conversation.
We've been out here almost 2 hours or something. So getting back to the topic, evergreen title.
Warriors.
So this is live and level. We live and we try to keep it level. But any other titles that y'all feel like is considered evergreen and should not be? Star Fox 64, is that evergreen? That's evergreen.
Yeah. I would still call it evergreen.
I think the new Mario, the new Super Mario's are not, to me. I don't consider them evergreen.
You talking about the Super Mario, the new? Yeah, I know. None of those. None of those.
Even though you because it's what you said earlier, D2K. The original Mario is evergreen. So every game that comes after that is basically doing the same thing with a new skin. It's only evergreen because the original is evergreen. See what I'm saying? So
right. I mean, I think for me, the definition of evergreen is something that defines a console or defines a console generation, or defines a genre. It's something that is transcending, that everybody is talking about it. Everybody says, I got to play this regardless. You know, the original Super Mario Brothers, there were platformer games long before Mario Brothers came along, but that Super Mario Brothers was the thing that just set it off the hook, that showed platforming in a way that nobody thought could be done before. And then Super Mario Brothers 2 wasn't even really a Mario game at all. It was something completely different, and they fashioned it into a Mario Brothers game. But then 3 came along, which went back to the original format, but it was so revolutionary to where it was a completely different game than the original. The core play mechanics were intact, but it was completely different. And that game was so huge that they unveiled it in the movie. They made a movie to reveal that game. That's how big that game was.
Yeah. The Truth brought up one that I didn't see in the chat. Resident Evil 4. Definitely.
Resident Evil. How about the first one?
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, because they just remade it. So
and Resident Evil franchise, period. I mean, 1 through 4 are definitely, all of them are evergreen titles. Now, I haven't defeated 2 or 3, but I think I've beaten all of them except for like the newer ones that really went off the tracks, like Gears. I mean, we had turned into Gears of Resident Evil. I didn't like those. And like 5 and 6, those were awful. 7 was too scary. I said, no, I'm not. I'm good. I'm not, and I'm definitely not doing no Resident Evil virtual reality. None of that stuff. No, I can't do that.
Okay. Any more before we get out of here? I think we going long tonight. So, any other ones we want to talk about, or are we done? Because we looking at about 2 hours and 20 minutes now.
I like that. Right around the gambit for me.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm done too. Well, I'm gonna let these dudes sign out. Keith, he muted, so I don't know if he's doing something right now. We're gonna go ahead and sign out. I'm gonna start with D2K don't do this part. I'm gonna start with K-Bun.
For sure. Yeah, man. Enjoy the chat, enjoy the conversation. I enjoy the random conversation about basketball. Just slid on in there. That was cool.
Boxing
man.
Too.
About boxing too. About Tyson. That's funny. No, man. Good chat, man. Some big news in gaming. I'm excited about it, man. Very excited. And can't wait to see what else is gonna come with this. So, yeah, good podcast.
Mr. Norris.
I'm gonna take my horse to the. You know, like,
where's that? What's the name that guy? The Sandman that used to be on Showtime at the Apollo.
Hit him with the Sandman.
Good podcast, fellas. We had a really good chat tonight, and these evergreen titles that came out of nowhere, really. It was like last minute. It was like, yeah, let's talk about it. Good chat. I look forward to the next one. And man, everybody stay safe over the weekend and have a good one.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed this. Yeah, this is fun. I had a thought. I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. I can't think of it right now. Warriors are trash. That's one thing I was gonna say. I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say.
Hang on a little bit longer.
Well, I can't think of it right now. But I appreciate everybody that was in the live chat. Dang it, what was I gonna say? Anyway, I can't think of it right now. But I hope that y'all enjoy this. We thank y'all for keeping us live. The few that chimed in the live chat, appreciate y'all for being there. Sorry, that's what I was going to say. I know y'all probably not liking after y'all get to this end and figure out we really didn't talk about anything about Nintendo's Direct. Didn't want to. I think Mario Maker 2 is going to be great. That's all we need to say about that. Beyond that, I didn't have much else to say about it.
Did Sony have directions last time we talked?
We didn't talk about that one either because, I mean, did y'all think that was good? I didn't. No, keep it.
I still ain't watched it.
Like I need to watch it again or something because y'all.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah,
I don't have any problem with it. I went back and watched the first one again, and I watched the second one. I'm like, yeah, it did what it needed to do. You know, I mean, it's definitely a copy and paste job of the current Nintendo Direct format, obviously. But in terms of the content of what was actually in there, I mean, like there was just some games that if I had a Sony PlayStation, I'd be like, okay, I'm excited about that. Like that Away game, whatever that's called, Away something. That
was that with the squirrel or the flower?
Yeah, whatever that thing. That looked incredible. That looked amazing.
Yeah, I'm about to go watch it. I didn't watch it.
What's up, Cornelius? You late, man. You late, bro. But welcome to the show anyway. You know we ain't gonna let it go out without saying you're here, but you're late. Is it over? Yes, it's definitely over. But go ahead. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. What I saw, I mean, it wasn't that it was trash or bad. I don't know. I don't like the format of. I don't like. It's something that I don't like about State of Play. I don't know
Sony.
if it's. No, it's not Sony. I like Sony.
They copied every single thing from the Nintendo Direct piece by piece. Literally. It's like they just broke into Nintendo's, they hijacked their computer or something and just put Sony over everything and recorded it.
Voice. I think it's the voice of the whoever is taking you to the game. I don't like the computerized voice thing. I don't like that, and it just don't work for me. But
I see what you're saying. It kind of sounds like Alexis or something like that.
It makes it feel generic. I don't know. It's just me, and it's like it don't draw me in. Like when you watch a Nintendo Direct, there's a real live person talking and excited, and he or her bringing you to the next game. We're going to jump over to here. And it's like, this game is coming out at this month. It's monotone. I'm like, man, are you not excited about what you're showing me? But
yeah, that's an easy fix, though.
Yeah, they can fix that. They fix it. I think I'll be fine with it. But as far as the games, I ain't say it was bad. I mean, I ain't caring about it much. But yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm sorry that we didn't talk about neither one of those. I'm sorry, Cable. I forgot about the State of Play. And we didn't talk about Nintendo's Direct, but we had other good topics. So we might talk about that next time. And Keith had a topic we didn't even get in. He said, is multiplayer used as a cover-up for the lack of single player? We might deal with that on the next podcast. I think it is. It definitely is, but we'll talk about that in the next podcast. But we're glad y'all tuned in. We gave y'all a good, long, lengthy one. So all of you guys that's jumping in late, rewind, and enjoy it from the beginning. Till then, stay blessed, safe, and see you on the other side of the moon. Deuces.